How's it going, YouTube? It's your man's CanDoKen. Alhaitham has recently come out, and the banner again is not that good, but I pulled for him anyways and happened to get him on early pity. I got him at like 40 pity, and I have to preface this whole video with this man is the unit. Okay, he is very easy, very free to play friendly, very beginner friendly because he's a Dendro unit. And if you have him and you're struggling with him, or you want to learn like how he's supposed to be played, who his best teammates are, best weapons, all of that in like a very beginner friendly, a very simple and short to the point kind of video, then this is the video for you. We're gonna go through his kit, his talents, what you need to level, who his best teammates are, and I'm gonna try to make it as like beginner friendly as possible, because I see a lot of people who don't quite understand like character kits and character designs and how they're supposed to be played, their intended roles and whatnot. And hopefully this video is not too long, but I want to try to make things as clear as possible, so this video could drag a little bit, but I will do my best to attempt to speed it up. Just, you know, it'll probably have chapters and whatnot.
I'm Alhaitham, the Academia Scribe.
Starting out, Alhaitham is a Dendro character. So, and he's a Dendro main DPS. So what that means is he's the main character who's supposed to have the most field time, which means you're playing him the most. He's going to be on the field attacking enemies more often than all of your other characters on the team. He's not like a swap into him and swap off of him, and like basically all of your team is in some way, shape, or form supposed to help and enable Alhaitham to do more damage in the amount of time that he has. Okay, now how do you do more damage with a Dendro main DPS? That's through spread damage. So basically, you want to apply Dendro, then Electro, and then Dendro again, and that will create spread, which will increase the damage of the Dendro attack that just connected, right? Basically, this spread damage is the damage comes from like a mixture of attack and EM plus the character level. So unfortunately, if you're the kind of player like me, you don't like leveling characters to 90. Unfortunately, in order to get the maximum value out of Alhaitham, you have to level him to 90. It's unfortunate, but you gotta do it if you really want Alhaitham to shine. You need your attack as high as you can get it, and you need your EM as high as you can get it as well. But we'll talk about that later, because mine's fairly low. But there are ways that you can actually increase your main DPS, you know, their EM if they need that. I want to get this out the way early. Alhaitham does not need constellations at all. Like, really, his C6 is the only truly game-changing constellation that he has. It literally changes his whole playstyle. But with his base kit, base constellations, base playstyle, he is actually disgustingly strong. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll understand how to play him and why he's so strong, okay? All right, let's get into the talents.
So it wasn't a one-time only thing.
For Alhaitham's talents, you can take a look at his elemental skill. Basically, if you cast his skill, no matter if you hit an enemy or if you miss, it will give you 2 mirrors if you don't have any. So pressing the skill from standing still, pressing the skill will give you 2 mirrors, period. Okay, when you have mirrors, any amount, 3, 0, 2, 1, like if you have mirrors, it will make your normal attacks Dendro, which is very good. A Dendro infusion is very good. If you have Ayaka, you already know she infuses her normal attacks with cryo by dashing, and it allows her to apply absurd amounts of cryo while she's on the field. So it's the same for Alhaitham, same for Kaching. You cast the skill, you get 2 mirrors, it applies Dendro. So there's also the added effect that this will also attack alongside of you. So if you have 2 mirrors, you'll get this shuriken attack. If you have 1 mirror, you'll get this like little slash. And if you have 3 mirrors, it'll do like this sword rain that like hits like 3 times, which more hits, better damage. That's all you gotta think about for now. More hits is better damage, period. Normal attacks, you know, obviously you want to level them because when they become infused with Dendro, they'll become stronger, and leveling your attack, your normal attack is pretty important. Your burst, if I'm being honest with you, you do not need to level the burst at all. The damage that it does at C0 is like not only the damage and the utility that like a full powered 3 mirror burst provides is not worth it's not a viable playstyle. It just makes the character harder to play. So you don't need to level the burst at all for what I'm going to show you. He's still very potent, and honestly, not leveling the burst gives you peace of mind. Like, there's less that you have to think about if the burst wasn't leveled to begin with, and we're gonna use it for its utility instead of its damage. And the utility will give us prolonged, like a longer window to do more damage with normal and projection attacks. You'll see what I mean later. But if you have C6, go ahead and level the burst up. But anything less than C6, don't worry about it. Do not worry about the burst. It does not need to be leveled. Another important part of Alhaitham's kit, when his charge or plunging attack, which is you attack while falling, if that hits an opponent, it will give you 1 mirror, which will give you the sword slash attack on your normals. All you need to know. Charge attacks and plunge attacks will give you 1 mirror. Each point of Alhaitham's elemental mastery, which is EM, it will increase the projection attack damage by 1%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is. You do need EM on Alhaitham. It's very potent. It gives you the main source of your damage, because you get more EM, your projection attacks do more damage, and when your projection attacks trigger a spread, which is a damage multiplier, the damage adds up. It stacks up very fast. So now on to the weapon segment.
Curses. There's sand in my shoes.
Obviously, his signature weapon is his best in-slot weapon. And I'm not a statistics guy. I watch a lot of guides and whatnot, but I'm not gonna bog you down with statistics. Basically, any weapon that gives crit rate, crit damage, EM, and in some unique cases, energy recharge are all good weapons on Alhaitham. This character is that good, okay? If you have Mist Splitter, it's great. Primordial Jade Cutter, it's great. These weapons are so close to the damage that his signature weapon gives you that you don't have to feel bad. Like, and the Jade Cutter even matches the Dendro green aesthetic anyways. So you don't have to feel bad if you don't have the Light of Foliar Incision. Sounds fire. It's a fire ass name. But you don't have to feel bad if you don't have it. The Black Sword will work. Especially this, the Umbrella. It will work. It will give you elemental mastery, and in single target scenarios, which is when you're fighting one enemy, you get 32% increased damage against that enemy. That is very good. It is a good weapon, and this was given out for free. Good weapon, great weapon. The Haran, great weapon. It enhances your elemental like skill thing, which is your mirror projections, which is good. That's great. Anything that enhances your attack, EM, crit rate, crit damage, like your normals, your skill, like all of those are good weapons. Alhaitham can use every single one of them, even the Harbinger of Dawn, because this gives you crit damage and crit rate. If you have it Refinement 5, you get 28% crit rate, and that makes it easier to build other stats on the character. That's the purpose of having weapons like these. Your crit rate is handled. 44% crit rate, you don't have to sweat it anymore. Now you can worry about crit damage, EM, attack, and the crit rate will fall into place for you. That's the point of having weapons like these. And that's why they're so good on Alhaitham.
Don't let any of it roll away now.
So, in terms of artifacts, all right, anything that gives him elemental mastery, Dendro damage bonus, or does something to to further enhance his attack, his EM, or Dendro damage, they're all good. They're all good. So, the Deepwood, great set, gives him 15% Dendro damage bonus. And if you were to have a 4-piece set, it would decrease, I should say. It would decrease opponent Dendro resistance, which makes them take more damage. Which, if you were running Alhaitham as the only Dendro character on a team, 4-piece Deepwood, best set to get on him. You don't have to run it that way, but decreasing opponent Dendro resistance is very strong, obviously, for obvious reasons. They can resist damage less, so they take more damage. Very good set. Gilded Dreams, very good set. It gives you a flat EM for just wearing 2 pieces. And then this is very complicated, but basically, essentially what it's saying is no matter what, no matter who's on your team, you will get attack percent or EM added to your character. Like, that's just good. It's just good, because if you take a look back at the talents, and this is all cohesive, it all goes back into each other. If you take a look at the talents, right down here it says 309% attack plus 247% elemental mastery. So both of these stats are very good on him. You can't go wrong with either or. If something boosts your attack, your attacks benefit. If it boosts your EM, you also benefit. Okay? So what you want to try to do, if you can help it, is get an EM Sand, Dendro damage bonus goblet, and crit damage or crit rate circlet. Whichever one gets you closer to about like 60, 120. Okay? You want to try to never go below 60 crit rate no matter what. You want to crit as often as possible. I've seen like artifact sets on the crazier side of like 70 to like 223 crit damage kind of situations, but that's like over the top. Okay, this right here, what I have on, I would consider like mid to like high mid value, like in terms of crit rate, crit damage, elemental mastery stats, ER. I would consider this mid to like very high mid like quality of artifact. Also, let me not forget energy recharge. Okay, do not forget about energy recharge. This stat right here makes the character a heck of a lot comfortable to play. Okay, like if you're not playing him with another Dendro character or just another character in general that generates a lot of energy for your team, you will feel the effects of not getting your burst back. You will feel that, and it sucks. You need your burst in order to like really experience the character the way that I'm going to show you later in the video during the showcase. You do need the energy, okay? But right now, I'm working with about 120, and the teams that I'm showing you can actually support him, and it does work, okay? So if you have a similar team, you should be okay with about 120 energy recharge, just based on my own playing and testing of the character.
Book learning alone is not enough to cultivate intelligence.
How is he played? Alhaitham is played as a main DPS again. So that means he's going to be the character who is doing their normal attacks and attacking opponents on the field actively. All right? So you want to start every rotation when it's Alhaitham's turn with his elemental burst. That will give you 3 mirrors and start your rain sword attack. To keep it simple, you want to see 2 rain sword attacks and then press his elemental skill, which will give you 1 mirror. After 2 more rain sword attacks, you want to use a charge attack, which will also give you 1 mirror and extend the duration that you have 3 mirrors. And it will do 2 more rain sword attacks before slowly kind of waning off until you lose all of your mirrors, and then he'll be back to doing physical damage, which at that point you can swap off and try to battery everyone, get their energy back, and then do the rotation all over again. You're refreshing a mirror to continue the rain sword attack. You want to basically get it 6 times, and that's how you know that you maximized the uptime on your rain swords effectively. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting him to die. As you can see, he's not as complicated as a lot of people are trying to make him out to be. 2 rain swords skill, 2 rain swords charge attack. It's literally that simple. And if you do that, you'll maximize the uptime on 3 mirror Alhaitham and maximize his damage. Like, that's it. That's all you need to know.
Most people are wary of interacting with me. Perhaps they're afraid. Or maybe they think I'm difficult to get along with.
So for team building for Alhaitham, essentially what you want to consider when you're making a team is synergy. And essentially all synergy is can you ask yourself, can this character that I'm going to pair with my main DPS, can they provide something? Like, I would say at least 2 things that the main character, the main DPS character, can utilize to increase our team's overall damage. So what I mean by that is something like this. So we know that our character, Alhaitham, is a spread damage DPS. So at base level, we at least know that we need an electro character, okay? So one of the best electro characters in the game, still to this day, is Fischl. So what Fischl does, she provides electro application, which we need for our Alhaitham to do spread damage, which increases our team's overall damage. She provides energy for our Alhaitham, which could probably help solve our burst energy issues on the team. And she provides her own personal damage, which it helps out a lot. It's 3 things that Fischl, by herself, like being added to the team, she brings the team's value. She brings the team's damage that much higher. We can add a character like Nahida to the team. She provides Dendro application on a much wider scale. She essentially turns our Dendro application into an AoE because she links all the opponents together and they all take damage together. Very strong character. So, oh, and she also batteries for the team. She will help Alhaitham get his burst back. It's like, these are the kind of things you want to kind of think about when you're making a team. This is what I would say is Alhaitham's personal, like his best in slot team by far. It enables his own damage. Each member of this team is in some way like just putting a lot of performance out, just making this team just that much better. It's very good. Now that I'm done with the main meat of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you some showcases of the best Alhaitham team in my opinion. It rivals and in some ways outperforms my hyper Raiden Shogun team, which I invested into C6 Sora, C2 Raiden, and they have godly artifacts on, and this team in some ways outperforms that for little to no cost and hardly any effort put into the characters. I mean, you can take a look at my cookie. 20% crit rate with 63% crit damage. I literally just slapped the best EM artifacts I had and then like made sure that I had this set bonus. This is a purple artifact. 62% crit rate, 128% crit damage. I mean, you know, like it's okay. He's not C6 or nothing. You know, like Nahida, 24% crit rate, 64%. Like full EM. It's not hard. These are artifacts that I literally just scraped them from the bottom of the barrel. I would say I spent a little more time on Alhaitham himself, which, you know, he's the main DPS, as you should. But, like, even his EM's not crazy high. Like, the weapon, I mean, it's not even his signature. His talents are, you know, level 8, level 4 burst. And you're going to see in the showcase section, this team is a monster. It wipes everything. My ambition right now is to see if I can get it to one cycle the Dendro, or not the Dendro, the Geo Wolf, because that's a pain in the backside. I hate that they put these types of like floaty, like runaway, keep away mobs in the abyss. I hate it. But my goal is to try to one cycle that. So maybe I will, maybe I won't in this showcase, but we're gonna see. Let me stop talking so I can go ahead and show you the showcase and then get my final thoughts out there.
We mustn't let those lazy academia scholars know about the progress I'm making.
Sharing my knowledge. Let me leave you a verb. Dissipate.
Deflect. Flicker.
Make yourselves at home. I'll settle this. Our bond is strong. Know my sword. Hey! Witness the power of Gugwa. Stand with me.
The process of elimination.
Everyone hold hands. Rain outlines your fate. I see everything. Our bond is strong. Everyone hold hands. Sharing my knowledge. Witness the power of
Scatter.
Stand with me.
A process of elimination.
My final thoughts on Alhaitham. He's a very strong Dendro main DPS character due to spread being so good, and he gains damage scaling from every sort of attack substat or passive in the game, so that's very good. He's fun, he's very smooth to play, he's very rewarding to learn how to control the mirrors and maintain mirror uptime and maintain DPS, and he's super flashy. He has very nice animations. He's got tons of weapons. Almost every weapon in the game is a viable option for Alhaitham. Like crit, energy recharge, EM, all of it is very good. He scales off attack, so even certain attack weapons everything is just really good on him. You got the battle pass options, free to play options, they're all very good. He's easy to build since he's not reliant on supreme god rolls on artifacts, and he's not even reliant on artifact sets as long as like the substats are decent enough. He doesn't really require a whole bunch of investment outside of leveling to 90 in order to get some real serious damage. Overall, I'd have to say he's a disgustingly free to play and like beginner friendly option if you're trying to get into like Dendro and you need a DPS character. He doesn't take like a lot of supports to start shining. You just need someone to apply electro really to get him going, and then outside of that, you just have to add, you know, characters who boost EM or boost attack and just apply Dendro, Hydro, or kind of transform his reactions and gameplay. But overall, it's very simple, very free to play, very beginner friendly. His optimal team, which is Nahida, Xingqiu, Cookie, like very 4-star friendly, very free to play. Each of those characters doesn't really take much to build, and you get damage that rivals teams like Raiden National. It's kind of crazy, honestly. So are you gonna be pulling out Alhaitham? Tell me why or why not in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more Genshin content.
I'll be taking some time for myself now. Goodbye.